So good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. This is going to be an introduction for the first couple minutes, and so people, as they're filing in, can miss out on introduction that I'm Dennis Easter, and that's Johnny Girardi. But we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Thanks for joining us. We think we've got something important today that businesses are missing out on. And that's really understanding the importance of business intelligence in your decision support strategy and your reporting strategy. And so what I want to do is talk real briefly about myself, Algorithm, and then we'll let Johnny talk about DataSelf, and then we'll go ahead and get started with a customer story that we've got. So I am Dennis Easter, Senior Solutions Engineer with Algorithm. We are an Acumatica partner, but more importantly, we are a DataSelf partner. This past fall, we have recommitted ourselves and strengthened the relationship with DataSelf because over the past several years, we've noticed that more and more companies are missing out on opportunities to make adjustments in their business because they're just, even with the dashboards and real-time data that's available in their ERP systems, they're not making the best decisions because they're not getting the full picture. And so we think that DataSelf is a tool to help companies increase their effective decision-making process. So glad that you could join us, and I'll give Johnny a second here to welcome you all as well.
Dennis, thanks for the introduction. We know each other for quite a while. We've been growing, through sweat and tears, our experience. I'm also excited to be part of this webinar and be partnering with Algorithm. I was a software engineer in my early career. Then I became a business person. And for over 20 years, I've been helping mid-sized organizations using systems like Acumatica to kind of, develop, nurture a data-driven culture. And like you said, business intelligence is pretty much a critical component of a properly developed data-driven culture. And hopefully today, throughout this presentation, we'll give you some education about the technology, how can it help companies, and we'll dive into many use cases and examples of how this technology has been helping. Like Dennis said, ultimately it's about you. Hopefully you'll find some learning opportunities, and if you need to learn more about it, contact Dennis or us, and we can talk about your specific needs.
Thanks, Johnny. So what I want to do is really help you understand where Algorithm feels DataSelf plays, and that is when our customers are looking for enhanced reporting, where the dashboard functionality inside the ERP just isn't giving them everything they need. And so on the screen, you see the name Stenner Pumps, and they are an Algorithm customer. They were actually founded in 1957. And to that end, they've grown to where now they have 4 locations in 3 states. And they manufacture peristaltic pumps. Now that's a special kind of pump. They're a wide variety of uses, and they are actually installed at probably the most famous fountains in the United States, and that's at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. So if you've seen the Bellagio fountains, you've seen Stenner Pump products at work. So about Stenner Pump and their journey towards DataSelf and what DataSelf is doing for them, they purchased Acumatica in 2023 and purchased DataSelf in 2024. And I was talking with Andrew, their IT director, and he made this comment. This is a quote: "DataSelf has been a great tool for our sales reporting. It's given us the ability to deliver meaningful, dimensional insights to our sales team and has really enhanced our visibility into our performance metrics." So they're giving them much more ability to slice and dice the data. And then he goes on to say, overall, I would say DataSelf has been an invaluable tool to our sales reporting. And so it's delivering the information that the sales team really needs. And in my last conversation, Andrew said that they're looking to explore how DataSelf can help them with their inventory management, production planning, and even financial reporting as well. So they've identified a single place in the business that they needed additional information. They applied the DataSelf tool, and now they're seeing opportunities for value across the organization. And so I say this so that you understand that Algorithm and DataSelf are partners, and we have success stories because of our relationship. And so at this point, I'm just going to turn it over to Johnny. I want to make sure you guys have a chance to see the product in action and to be able to understand the value that it can bring. Johnny?
Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, it's exciting having standard pumps wanting to expand potentially DataSelf across more reporting needs. With Algorithm, we have more clients, other, also success stories. But today, let's move on. I want to give a little bit of an overview of education about business intelligence, why it's so important nowadays. Pretty much when a company decides to develop a data-driven culture, a step one is pretty much what I believe all of you or most of you already have been working on, which is digitize and optimize your business transactions. In Acumatica is an amazing ERP for that purpose. You get all the operations in Acumatica. Maybe you have other systems like payroll and Google Analytics and whatnot, but it's centralized, it's optimized, it's a lot of things is automated. So that step, I believe you guys already are well into this journey. And then the second step is, as the business operates on a digital platform, you want to be sure that your management, your decision makers, have what is called an improved decision support system. And we'll talk about when you should be going beyond what comes with your Acumatica and other systems. At the end of the day, BI is a technology that allows you to connect all of your data, no matter where the data comes from, so decision makers can view their KPIs in a timely fashion, anytime, anywhere, and make decisions, informed decisions, without waiting, without calling, and for experts. The idea is to really inspire decision makers to make insightful decisions anytime and anywhere. And first of all, DataSelf, we work with more than a dozen different ERP systems like Acumatica. We've been working with Acumatica since 2017, so it's been many, many years. And one great news is Acumatica has one of the most comprehensive reporting platforms across competitors. If you peel the onion and you see what Acumatica provides, congratulations. Not only ERP is great, but the reporting platform is also great among ERP systems. So be sure you leverage all the features available and talk with Algorithm if you're needing more support on that part of the reporting and dashboarding capabilities. Having said that, when should an organization invest in a business intelligence platform? When you should realize you're going beyond the capabilities of Acumatica. So let me talk about, from a high-level standpoint, what that problem is. Acumatica is what's called an OLTP system, online transaction processing. Pretty much probably all the systems that you have operating your business, payroll, CRM, point of sales, they're called an OLTP system. In all the OLTP systems, they are really focused on automating business transactions and having enough reporting capabilities for you to see what's happening. So if you look at Acumatica, and inside of Acumatica, you have a lot of your KPIs. A lot of your KPIs means key performance indicator. Usually it's a report, a dashboard, or some numbers that you see somewhere. So you should be able to see a lot of your KPIs inside of Acumatica, or if you have a payroll system outside, you go to the payroll system, you can see those numbers. That's a very common, scenario. The point is, as you become more sophisticated, many KPIs need to be done outside of the OLTP. It's very common for businesses to use Excel as a complement to Acumatica, to payroll, and they export the data from, let's say, Acumatica into Excel or someone else, and they start to build some reports and dashboards, some KPIs outside. This is absolutely not an Acumatica problem. All ERPs, they have limitation to the reports. But when this bubble of KPIs outside of the ERP starts to grow, is when you start to realize you might need to add some components on top of your OLTP systems to take care of your KPIs in a more efficient manner. So in practical terms, what are the pains that will be deriving a business intelligence platform to solve them? I'm going to break into two different audiences. From a decision maker standpoint, if you're a company owner, a manager, CEO, CFO, COO, VP of sales, inventory planning people, primarily a major pain that people go to BI is reports are too slow. They might take minutes, they might take hours, or maybe I can only see a report at the end of the week or at the end of the month, or the end of the quarter, because it takes a long time to maintain them, it's a long time to run them. So slow reports, if you're not getting reports right now when you need it, that might be because you're missing business intelligence. The other thing is, once you get a report or KPI, you want to slice and dice it. And if you can't, if it's too slow, if you're unable as a business user, BI might be the solution for it. So limited ad hoc analysis is also a major pain that decision makers complain, where BI will be the solution. And also what to measure. Quite often, nowadays, businesses are changing so frequently that if you don't know what measures to pay attention to, sometimes you're missing opportunities. Sometimes there are threats in your business and you only realize when it's too late. So BI also helps looking at more KPIs than probably what you're paying attention to today. Those are the main pains we hear from decision makers looking for BI. The other group of people that quite often also drive BI investment is the people that actually do the reports and dashboards, and they do the maintenance of the system. These people have all sort of labels. We're calling them business analysts. But primarily the challenges that they face, first of all, is reports, maintenance is very labor intensive. I know a lot of people that they work overtime, they have no weekends, and they're being called left and right. And thank God, these people are usually very hardworking. But labor intensive is one of their main complaints. Takes a lot of work. In Acumatica and in similar systems, in Acumatica, having too many GIs, generic inquiries, is usually also a big data point that might be time to go into BI, or what we call Excel hell. Excel is an amazing tool. Everyone uses Excel until it isn't. Until you start to have a lot of issues, you go to a meeting, people bring their Excel files, Excel reports, the numbers are not matching, nobody knows what's going on. It's hard to maintain the single version of truth. So if you're getting into the Excel hell, the problem is not Excel, is because you need to feed your reports, even Excel reports, with a BI solution. If you have a lot of data, usually reports are too slow, too hard to deal. If you have multi-company, multi-systems, you need to bring data together. It can be a nightmare for business analysts. And security is also sometimes a big problem, especially if you gather data into Excel and you email the Excel to the wrong people. Oops, is one click too late, and you can have a lot of issues because you're not doing data governance, data control. So those are the main pains that BI has a lot of functionality to solve them. And we're going to go in some more details down in this presentation. I'm going to cover two quick business use cases, like Dennis covered for Standard Pump. One of our clients, they were doing inventory planning, and before DataSelf, It was a weekly report done every Wednesday. So the business analyst would be the whole Wednesday working on inventory planning, multiple Excels, multiple exports. They would run the Excel, sometimes the Excel in a good day, everything would be done in a few hours by noontime. Most of the time they didn't have good days, Excel would crash or something that didn't run properly. They have to make adjustments. And many times, the business analyst was telling me that at the very end of the day, 6 p.m. was coming around in the last report, the last one would crash. And sometimes, she would have to spend many, many hours later the day to fix and be able to validate and email reports. Management frustrated, have to wait every Wednesday to get the reports. Because the manual process is error prone, many times people would dispute the numbers and then would take hours per week to validate, is my mistake, the business analyst made a mistake in the process, or is the person thinking that is wrong, that person is wrong. So a lot of waste of people's times, more people time to keep this inventory planning functionality. And I'll talk about later how BI solved this problem. Another example, another client with some complex sales commission. This story is really amazing when they give you the final output. But every month, it would take them 5 full days for the business analyst to properly calculate this very complicated sales commission calculation. So they will close the month. People have no clue the commission until next week, pretty much, to get the results. Very time consuming, and salespeople kind of flying blind. They didn't know exactly how much they would make until actually people were calculating. So another problem that we're talking how BI can solve. Now, how can we solve all of these problems? Pretty much you have initially, let's say, Acumatica, and we're going to be focusing more on the Acumatica reporting problems today. But any OLTP system that you want to have reports out of, again, payroll, point of sale, Google Analytics, Excel sheets, doesn't matter. When you add an enterprise-grade business intelligence or BI, there's a lot of benefits. And I'm just going to show architecture, how this works. So at high level, you have on the far left OLTPs like Acumatica and other systems. Step one primarily is to bring that data that is not organized in a way for easy reporting, easy and fast reporting. You mirror that data in what's called a data warehouse. And then you create in the data warehouse what is the single version of the truth of your KPIs, how you do your revenues, how you do your gross profit, how you calculate your expenses, how you calculate your overtime, how you look at your customers, your products, your projects, everything that you want to do a KPI, you define in the data warehouse. And then once you define these rules, this refresh process becomes automatic, on demand, is always there. And then you use, we call analytics tools or reporting tools, and Excel is one of them. But the Power BI and Tableau are the most popular. We'll talk a little bit more about them. And these analytics tools, they make reports available anytime, anywhere. When you click on a report, you see the results in seconds. No matter how much data you have, you just get the report rendered in seconds. It is very easy for a business user to slice and dice the data with little to no training. So this is kind of the foundation of an enterprise BI solution. Great news is that now when you use enterprise BI, there's a lot of AI. AI is all over the place. It's kind of overwhelming. Is AI here, AI there? What should I use AI for? Yes, it's a little bit kind of too much, but the good news is you get top-notch AI functionality to help all of this process to become easier, faster, and less time-consuming and more kind of self-service. At the end of the day, once you put these extra pieces in place, business users will have actionable insights in a much more automated way. We tell people that on average, 80% of what your company today is spending in reporting maintenance, usually a lot of work and copy and paste and mechanical things, 80% of that labor becomes completely automated with a BI solution across all of your systems. And business users become a lot more empowered and more self-sufficient than before. That's the final outcome of a enterprise-grade BI solution. Now, putting in practical terms, the business user decision makers value versus the business analysts. Pretty much with BI, you can expect that anytime, anywhere that you open a report, you should expect the report to run in seconds. We tell the 10-second rule. If a report takes longer than 10 seconds to run, most likely call the BI people, because some dials must be turned to be sure reports will run automatically in seconds. Of course, that some of the process that requires human intervention, BI doesn't replace human intelligence, but the mechanical components of a report process, exporting, manipulating, calculating, aggregating, slicing, dicing, that process should be automated in as fast as possible. Extensive ad hoc analysis. I'll show some examples when I do the product presentation. You can do a lot without knowing complicated technical reporting techniques. And again, fortunately nowadays with AI, you can actually ask a solution in plain English or whatever your language is, and the solution will render a lot of insights and being able to have a conversation with you to answer KPI questions. For the business analysts, a lot of the benefit is just automation. Business analysts can automate, again, a lot of the process, on average more than 80%. It doesn't matter the data volume. You can have as much data as you want, and the solution is designed to crank the data in an efficient manner. We'll talk more about that later. If you have multi-company, multi-currency, multi-system, data consolidation with BI is possible and faster and easier. BI provides a lot of data governance control to be sure that only the right person will access the information correctly, so you don't accidentally email incorrect information to other people. And again, there's a lot of AI functionality for business analysts to also make their jobs significantly more efficient. There are two main ways for you to embrace an enterprise-grade business intelligence journey. Step one, or approach, the old approach is start from scratch. And if you have the resources, BI expertise, choose the right BI tools, decide what to measure, start to build it. It's no rocket science, but good luck. Right now it's very hard to find BI experts. They're usually expensive and hard to keep. If you go to the start from scratch, my main recommendation is be sure to focus on the right people, the right BI experts, because if they leave your business, good luck finding someone else that will maintain what the other first people did. So, maintaining BI usually requires continuity in the process. And if you do from scratch, it tends to be complex long-term maintenance, and the ROI is slow. Many companies do successfully, but it's not an easy process, and it requires quite a bit of investment. Alternative, the much better, faster approach is if you subscribe to a solution like Algorithm and DataSelf offers. As I mentioned originally, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And what we bring to the table is BI expertise on demand, so we can see where you are with your reporting capabilities, if you already have some kind of BI investment, and we can make a plan to accelerate your BI journey dramatically. If you use Acumatic in many systems, we have prepackaged enterprise-grade technology that can come with plugs and play, and will reduce your journey from months and years down to hours or days. So much faster to get something that you have to build from scratch. On average, it deploys in a few hours. What I'm going to show you is actually the result of a few hours of deployment. We tend to be, Algorithm and DataSelf tend to be your BI experts on demand. We encourage you to have your own internal people to take it over. But if you have, people changing, people leaving, or people are being, promoted, they don't want to do the BI maintenance, Algorithm and DataSelf can go there and fill in the blanks until you hire someone else, or we can train someone else to take over maintenance if that's your decision. So we help with the long-term maintenance by being there as also experts. Overall, pretty much in a matter of days, you see results and you get business users to get KPIs using BI, enterprise grade BI, deployed in a few hours. So it's very accelerated the journey. Just showing quickly the architecture. So on the left, all of your data sources, Acumatica, and here we're putting some complementary systems like ADP for payroll, BigCommerce, Shopify and whatnot. Pretty much DataSelf adds a block, what we call the data warehousing and modeling. We use our ETL Plus tool. ETL Plus means extraction, transformation, and loading. Is an AI-powered data warehouse framework that allows users to easily, no code, to deploy and maintain the data warehouse. You don't need to be a data warehouse expert. Sometimes just knowing GIs is the skill that you need to do data warehousing efficiently. So very powerful platform. We also have what's called the DFT modeling, pretty much is taking all of your data in Acumatica, payroll and whatnot, and transform into what's called dimensions, fact, and time. And eventually we plug to more than 8,000 reports and dashboards that show AP, AR, GL, inventory, sales order, project accounting, field service. There's a lot of reports that kind of plug and play into your data. You can pick what tools you want to use for reporting. Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and others. We support many of these. They're very powerful, and I'll show some examples in a minute. At the end of the day, decision makers will get the reports automated. They'll be able to run the reports in seconds. Easy data cell consolidation. We call infinite drill down. You can drill down very quickly without limitation. It's all AI-powered functionality. You can build and maintain the single version of truth in the data warehouse, like I mentioned before. There's a lot of ways to look at the data across all of your business, all of your systems together. And we help with your long-term modeling as you move forward and you outgrow your systems. And all of this will be deployed in a matter of hours, fairly straightforward, kind of plug and play to Acumatica. This is the last two, a little bit slides, a little bit technical in a way, just to give you the concept. Usually in reporting, you build what's called star schemas. You put, let's say, your sales in the middle, like a star, and around the planets, which is your dimensions. This example is a sales kind of star schema. And then you put your customer, the ship to, the salespeople, warehouse around. And this usually feeds reports and dashboards in an efficient manner. If you're a business analyst, you're probably very familiar with this kind of concept. But what's new, fairly new, is that if you need to report across multiple reporting areas, let's say that you have a CRM system and you are a manufacturer distributor, and then you want to see a client coming from, it was a lead, then he called you, then you create an opportunity in the CRM, eventually you made an offer, eventually they close the deal, then you got a sales order that becomes a production, that becomes a shipment, that becomes an invoice, that becomes a receivables, that becomes a line on the P&L. All of these different data points, they are in separate star schemas. You can do a report to see your opportunities, to see your shipments, to see your sales order, to see your invoices. They're usually in separate reports. But if you need to put all of these data points together in a single report, usually you have to export to Excel multiple times. Well, welcome to the Galaxy schema. This can be very overwhelming as a picture, but the point is you take every fact table, AP, AR, GL, inventory, you put all of the fact tables in the middle, you put the shared dimensions, kind of the planets, and now you can build a report showing opportunities coming, the leads, step by step going all across all the systems in a single report. Galaxy schema was a BI concept forever. I knew this for like 20, 30 years. And only in the last 5 years is that BI has grown enough as a framework to allow Galaxy schemas becoming effective, easy to set up, tools that give management insights that tomorrow, that before was a nightmare to deliver. So kind of looks complex, but it's amazingly valuable.
Hey, Johnny, I appreciate you showing this, and I want to make sure everybody just think about what you have here with this Galaxy schema, and think about the time and the effort that it would take for you to build this internally. So even if you have a data analyst and a business analyst on staff, to be able to create the GIs inside of Acumatica and expose them to, say, Power BI, because the one of the true benefits, I think, with DataSelf is the fact that they've done this work for you. If you look at the native Acumatica to Power BI integration, they haven't done this. You can bring GIs into Power BI and you can report on them, but you don't have the power of the Star and Galaxy schemas the way that DataSelf is going to provide them. And so as we're getting through the technical part of this, just think about the value that that can bring to you by you not having to worry about creating all of these data sets yourself.
Yep. Dennis, thanks for the color. Yeah, this is a big data point. Many clients, when they knock on our door, if they are already familiar with the BI, when I show this, usually, it's people get overblown by how much time it's going to save. Companies that don't have yet enterprise grade BI, sometimes can look a little bit scary because it's a big thing. But if you have business analysts that are today working extensively with the GIs, we can articulate for that level of expertise how this relates to what they're doing today and what are the benefits that this kind of modeling brings to them as a business analyst, and most importantly for the decision makers that today they have no clue that this is even possible, and how much the decision support system becomes on steroids once you connect all the data points.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for the note. All right, so the last two slides before a demo here is just to talk about the, I mentioned two use cases that some of our clients were having issues before DataSelf. The first one was the inventory planning. They were spending the whole Wednesday going through the work, a lot of work, and then validating, and then, disputing why the numbers were right or wrong. That client, right now, the reports are running every day in seconds. So all of those Wednesdays out of the way, no more time. There's no more dispute. Are the numbers right? Once the system is validated, people don't dispute it. It's pretty solid. They have a lot more time now to focus on analyzing the numbers and making decisions. That's the human side of things that hopefully we'll never replace. Even with AI, we hope we never replace humans, right? But they really spend a lot more of their time focusing on analyzing the data and making better decisions. And pretty much is easy, timely. They have timely, and extensive ad hoc analysis. Before, they couldn't slice and dice during inventory planning. Now, decision makers, inventory planning people can do a lot without calling for the business analyst. It's an amazing productivity for them. The other use case, the complex sales commission, that was taking 5 days every month. So every day commission is calculated. Salespeople can see commission growing, where they're making more money, where they should be focusing more of their time. So it's amazing. But the most important use case of that client, when we started the business, the CFO told us, just please take care of the commission calculation. Is a major pain. It was a beast. It took us actually 3 months to understand the beast, discuss it, plan it, implement it, validate it, deliver. So 3 months later, commission calculation completely automated, and the CFO was, hallelujah, thank you, I'm so great. So that was, the end of it. But a week later, 1 week later, he comes back, Johnny, let me tell you something. You told me to look at the out-of-the-box solution, and I told you, forget about it, do commission calculation. Well, today I decided to see the out-of-the-box solution that was ready 3 months ago. And I started to sift through the KPIs. DataSelf has over 8,000. Fortunately, he went to the right corner. He started to sift through some inventory management reports, and he told me, I found a KPI that showed me that we have some major inventory problems. We're losing a lot of money. And if I had seen this report on day one, 3 months ago, I would have told you, forget commission calculation. It's something we can live with a little bit more. We have bigger fish to fry. So sometimes unknowns, the blind spots, can be more critical than what you know today. In our library of 8,000 reports and dashboards that have grown over the 20 years, sometimes pays for the investment because it shows you a lot of ways to look into your industry, into KPIs, and maybe today you're not paying attention to, and you should. So the success story quite often is an amazing one to talk about the unknown unknowns. Alrighty. Dennis, any other comment before I jump into the presentation?
Technology, who loves it, right? No, I think that I appreciate all of the explanation, the foundation of how it's built. So let's get right into it. Let's see what's going on.
All right. Thank you. All right. So the presentation probably is going to take about 15, maybe 20 minutes. I'll focus on ad hoc analysis first, just to show how kind of, no flashiness, just how people can do easy ad hoc analysis in DataSelf. I'm going to show some popular KPIs from the 8,000 list. I'm only going to show a few. I wouldn't bore you to death, show you thousands. And I'm going to show a little bit of the server side, just a little bit to have a taste of what's behind the scenes. So let me switch gears here. Let me reload my demo. So I'm going to show DataSelf embedded in Acumatica. So the point is, the DataSelf solution is a BI solution that users can access it anytime, anywhere, including inside of Acumatica. As a user, you might not even know that this report here is a BI report. It's not a native Acumatica report. As a user, it doesn't matter. You just run it, you see the results. If you're not an Acumatica user and you need to see those reports, data from Acumatica, from payroll, well, the IT or BI people would set up security that you can access your reports outside of Acumatica using web browser, mobile devices, anytime, anywhere. If you're a board member, an external client, you can control those things. In my example, I'm going to focus most of my demo of inside of Acumatica, assuming as a user, I come to this first report we call the slicer. The slicer is an amazing concept. It's not a flashy. There's no charts. People usually think about BI's charts. This one has no charts, but because a lot of people, a lot of decision makers, they just want to find some data that they are interested in, and they want to be able to find it without calling someone else. They want to find it now in seconds. So I'm going to talk about the slicer. And I'm going to use a revenue slicer. However, this concept applies to any kind of data, financials, expenses, project accounting, inventory. It doesn't matter. The slicer is a concept. So when you log to it, you can have a starting page. This example is showing my customers, showing all the years and showing sales by year. So, okay, that's the starting point, but I don't want to see everything. I just want to see a subset. Let's say only 2031. Let me put 2030. It's a little better here. So choose only 1 year, and the tool shows me the information instantly. Well, I don't want to. I'm sorry. I don't want to see the information at the year level. I want to see more granular. So you put the mouse over the report, and when you see this plus, it means you can drill down to the next level. In this case, when I drill down, it's going to be showing sales by month. This drill down is configurable. You could go from year to quarter to month to week to days. You can go from year to fiscal period or to any kind of period. If you analyze by hour, by season, all of this drill down is configurable. This example from year to months. So I quickly chose year to months. And again, if you want to just choose, let's say, a few months, you just select the months, press apply. So periods is powerful, is easy, is fast. No matter how much data you have, it's easy, powerful, and fast. Now, what if I don't want to see a revenue slice by customer? I want to see by something else. This is what the slicers are for. So if I want to see something else, I choose the slicer and I pick the option. These options in the revenue slicer are available out of the box, but as you can tell, you can customize it. A business analyst can come over here and add an unlimited number of custom fields. And once these drop downs are customized to the way that your business users want to slice and dice your data, as a business user, you just pick and choose. So if you want to see a salesperson report, I choose salesperson, and the report will render now sales by salesperson in those 3 months in seconds. And if I want to now slice and dice it, I can click again the plus, that means expand or drill down. I go to the next column that right now has customer. Sure, let me expand further, go to the next column, and you can pick something else. And that's it. You keep on drilling down, picking the drop downs, and the tool will show the report rendered in seconds, straightforward. In the numbers, right now we're showing sales. What if you want to see something else or multiple things? As you can tell, you pick and choose as many as you want, and the result will render in seconds. So I just added sales and gross profit. This report, if you were to be building using Acumatica or any ERP built-in reporting capabilities, this pretty much will require a business analyst going through multiple interactions and doing manipulation, and it will not be done in seconds and would require a lot of expertise. What I just showed you is something that a business user, they get it. What I showed is pretty much in a few minutes, they either they get it or forget it. They're not going to get it. So it's very easy to understand. And if you get it, you are empowered to do a lot of reporting without assistance.
A lot of power there, Johnny. Say, I have a question. I noticed down in the lower right there, you've got legacy and live data. So could you talk a little bit about how you can use legacy and live data together in the same report?
Absolutely. Good question. Let me just bring that data point so that now we have this legacy and live. And I know that you guys, you have many clients coming from Macola and other ERP systems that when a company transitions from a legacy ERP into a modern one like Acumatica, many times part of the history is left behind. So let's say, you might have to keep if you have Macola, you Macola around for years while you care about some of the reports that only Macola can provide. With DataSelf, we can take your Macola, your Say, it doesn't matter what the ERP is, QuickBooks, we can bring that data to your data warehouse, and then we can blend it with your live Acumatica data. In this case, we're showing let's say the legacy as green numbers. So 2029 and back would be your legacy data. And then anything that is live would be in Acumatica being the black ones. And this is done on the data warehouse, where we define the single version of the truth that we're taking your sales from Macola and linking with Acumatica. As a business user, it doesn't matter. You see your customers, you see your products, you see your salespeople, and the report renders like you never changed your accounting system. So this use case is popular among some clients that have that kind of historical data blending needs.
Yeah, no, thanks. You're exactly right. One of the really common requests that we get as we're moving people off of their old ERP is, how can we bring our old data across? And there are ways with Acumatica's platform that you can bring over some history, but then you still have to be able to manage it inside your reporting tools in order to merge them all together. That gets pretty cumbersome. So being able to include all of that data into a single source I think is something that a lot of companies would see a lot of value in.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're in the audience and you want to learn learn more about your specific needs with your legacy data or data from other systems, schedule a call with us. We can assess what you're doing, how you're doing. If there's anything, we can tell you how you can do better with the tools that you have. And if BI is part of the solution, we'll absolutely explain how this would solve and help your business analysts as well as your business users. I think Dennis for the notes. All right, so this again, as I mentioned, is not flashy. There's no charts. Well, BI usually has a lot of charts and dashboards and ad hoc analysis. So let me show a popular example of a dashboard. Kind of busy, but let me talk first about the concept of this dashboard. We call the year-over-year variances dashboard. Many businesses, they are analyzing their current year trends and they want to compare versus the prior period. Quite often, if you have a yearly seasonality, you want to compare the same period last year, year to date, same quarter, same periods. Sometimes your seasonality is quarter to quarter. You want to analyze this quarter versus the prior quarter, or maybe this summer versus the prior summer. Anyhow, but it's compare this versus the prior. This is what this dashboard template is about. In DataSelf, everything is a template that can be adapted to your specific way of looking at your data. The one that I'm showing is a year over year. So assuming that you have seasonality across years, and you're looking at months across the year. But again, this could be quarter, could be whatever that you want. You pick the year, you pick the periods, the tool will give you, in this case, is revenues. This could be expenses, could be inventory, could be anything. Right now, we're looking at revenues. And then we'll give you the total this year, the total last year in the same periods, whatever the period you selected, and then the variance in dollar and percentage. Then it breaks down by multiple different widgets. In this example, dark blue this year, light blue last year, so you can see things from a period standpoint, from a geography standpoint, in this case by customer, by product. Again, this year, last year, black means how much you're growing, red, how much you're declining from year over year. This dashboard at first, quite often is insightful as is, and all of these widgets can be customized. If you don't have customers, you don't care about customers, you care about branches, you care about divisions, whatever it is, it's very easy to edit this report and change any of these widgets into something that is relevant to your business. Now, once this dashboard has the widgets that your management wants, let's say if I'm a VP of sales and I have all the widgets that I want on my year over year, and I look at this, usually what I want to do as a business user is look at the outliers. Something great or something bad, and why that is happening. I'm going to show an example. If I go here, let's say I look at taxes growing 11% year over year. Yay, amazing, tough year, still we're growing a lot. Well, what's happening in Texas? When I click the Texas bubble, the whole dashboard changes to only show Texas numbers. In Acumatica, if you were to click on the number, you go into GI to see the granularity. No, here you can decide if or when you want to go to see the granularity. First, you just filter things at the KPI level. So right now, the whole dashboard is only showing totals in Texas by period, customers in Texas, and products sold in Texas. Now, while I'm doing really well in Texas with 11% growth, I can see my customers that this customer here has a major decline in sales. I would only be able to see this easily with something like this perspective. So what's wrong with this customer? I select this customer, and again, the dashboard changes to only showing Texas, this customer, totals, trend analysis, and items. And here I can sort, I can filter. What are these items driving the main decline? I can select them. And maybe now I want to see a GI look and feel of those transactions. And when I say I want to see it now, my details, you click it, and then the tool will give you like a GI-like kind of look and feel. Or in this case, we're looking at sales. So you'd see invoice detail, quantities, document numbers. You can click on this AR, it's going to open in Acumatica that particular report. But the ability to look at the dashboard at a very high level, slice and dice it, still at the high level and decide when you want to drill down, when you want to see the details, when you want to drill across, is something that only a BI solution can offer. In all ERPs, they're very limited in this kind of capabilities. It's a very powerful dashboard that we have in our client base.
So, Johnny, I think this dashboard is a great example of being able to tell a story. You know, one of the things that, you know, facts bore people, stories excite people, stories drive decisions, and this is a way to really evaluate, in this case, revenues, and tell the story of how we got to where we are. And so I think that's because a dashboard can be built for, as you said, revenues, expenses, and such. That, you know, that's part of being able to really analyze the business. So, being a recovering accountant that I am, how does this work for a P&L analysis?
Recovering accountant, I like that. Good question. How this applies to GL. So in GL, we have a lot of CFOs, controller, accounting people that use this for kind of, you know, P&L kind of analysis or balance sheet or GL transactions. And primarily what we take is we take the data from those reports, let's say a P&L. Sometimes you're looking at the period level, sometimes you're looking at the GL transaction level. No matter what, we will have these different widgets. They're going to be showing you either GL accounts or sub-accounts. And if your sub-accounts are segmented, sometimes the segment of accounts become widgets. So you can see, let's say, division or payroll, and then this dashboard would be customized based on GL data points. Again, GL accounts, account segments from the sub-account. Branches also quite often become part of these widgets. Everything DataSelf, and today, you know, the session is not really designed to show much of the open the hood and customize it. But it's fairly straightforward to make a lot of those changes, and we definitely encourage the business analyst to learn everything DataSelf so they can become self-sufficient in customizing as needed. We have about 7 minutes to go. I'm going to just show one more example. Again, we have 8,000, and I showed you 2 so far. I'm not going to bother with the other ones. You know, we have AP, AR, GL, whatnot. I'm going to show a little bit of the AI functionality. Some people might be tired of AI. Some people can wait to learn more about AI. I'm going to show one of the AI capabilities. There are multiple AI capabilities in enterprise grade BI. I'm going to show one that is tangible for business users. It's just a prompt. As a business user, you ask your question in plain English, and quite often the AI will answer the question instantly and accurately. So right now I am connected to my sales model, and as a business user, I'm going to ask for top 5 items by sales. I just write in plain English my question. I confirm it. The tool will understand my question. It will show a chart that shows my items in the sales. Super straightforward. What if you want to break it down further? Plain English. By ship to state. So now I'm putting, I want to put these 5 items on a ship to state report, and the tool will automatically think, maybe I should put in a map, which by default will go to a map. Many times it's pretty impressive and pretty informative. But what if you're an accountant? Like then you said, I want to see the numbers by the penny. Then you say, hey, put this on a table. And pretty much is in plain English. You ask your questions, and the tool will keep on answering and automatically render the information in seconds. You don't need to write GIs. You don't need to do anything. All the data modeling, the star schema, the galaxy schema behind the scenes will help you get those questions answered. I know we're running short on time. I could be spending a lot of time showing things, but I need to show some additional slides. So let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Right now, this slide has 2 main QR codes. I encourage you to take a picture of them. The first one will get to a page on DataSelf that has 40 videos out of the 8,000 reports showing the most popular KPIs that are available in the out-of-the-box solution. So feel free to check this out, to go to this page with the about 40 demo videos. Each video is 2 minutes, so it's very quick to get a taste of the use case and how they work, including the demos that I show here today. The bottom left has another QR code that will take you to the list of 8,000. So it's a lot of reports, but if you want to see how comprehensive the list is, right there, the documentation will give you the details. Pricing-wise, DataSelf doesn't break the bank. There is an investment, but it doesn't break the bank. The pricing is kind of targeted around your company size. So smaller companies, more affordable. Bigger companies go up a little bit and go up more. This is the entry-level pricing, and this pricing includes the deployment and training. Pretty much you pay the fee, and the system will get up and running and will teach you. You have more add-ons. Sometimes the pricing goes above this, but many of our clients, the initial several months, sometimes years, they just pay the entry level because it's super duper powerful. And what I showed you today, everything that I showed you today, I only showed you 3 functionality, will be available with this price tag here. So this would not require add-ons for what I showed you today. If you want to learn more how we can help you, contact Dennis, Algorithm. We can make an assessment of your current reporting, status, what's working, what's not working. Can you get more out of Acumatic or not? And if BI a solution, so we can help you with that. Because you're participating in this webinar and give you some of your time, if you decide to order DataSelf by the end of the year, you're going to get a 15% off the first year SaaS. And with that in mind, let's see if we have any questions with the limited time that we have available. Dennis, can you check for me because I don't have the portal here.
One question here so far, Johnny, is what kind of training is typically involved when someone starts using DataSelf?
So training for end users, a lot of the end users, if they are a little bit data savvy, there's a lot of management that are more used to mobile devices and whatnot. Sometimes the demo that we do is enough, like the slicer. It's very easy to get it. The AI is very easy to get it. So many users, they need no training. They just need to be kind of onboarded. On average, we provide 2-hour training for business users because quite often part of the success of making informed decisions is how to look at your data in a BI platform. It's easier, better, faster than, let's say, in Acumatic and payroll, but it's presented in a way that they might not be used to. So at first, they might not understand what they're looking at. So part of the training is not, teaching them complicated techniques. No, it's how to interpret their data in a better platform. And usually people hallelujah, there's a better way to make informed decisions. So this 2 hours for end users is more from how to spin their brain in a way that is more empowering. Business analysts, on average, we have a lot of users that they are self-taught. They go to ChatGPT, they get all the help. They don't need any kind of training. Many people, they need some support. On average, we encourage 12 hours of training for business analysts. We have self-taught. You can go to our website and just learn through the classes. But if you need, those training hours are part of the deployment process. We will teach you, the business analyst, what you need to know, and you'll be pretty self-sufficient. And BI is a whole universe. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm learning every day. So, there's a lot of things you can learn and how to expand, and it's never ending. Dennis, we're running out of time, so we'll answer more questions later. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. Please take advantage of the offers. Let's start out with that free analysis, that free appointment to really look at what your reporting on needs are, what you've got in place now, where you feel like the gaps are. And then let's make sure that DataSelf is going to be a good fit for you, that your company is ready for it, because again, you've got to have good data in order to make this work. So that's a real important thing that we evaluate as we look at reporting strategies. And then you've got the 15% discount if you order by the end of the year. So I appreciate you joining us. I'm going to say goodbye. Johnny, any last words from you?
No, Dennis, I appreciate the opportunity. I also excited that we got many people attending here. My main goal usually is education first. And if we can help you, boy, we have a team of 30-something excited data geeks to make you more successful. So I look forward to hopefully be in touch with some of you guys and help with a better decision support system.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
For everybody.